The other day I actually made a video about Blord and VDM where I actually said that in this fight that Blord is actually scoring 2 in Kuje prison, while VDM, who is actually having his freedom moving around, has zero point 0. I backed it up with data. That's what I do for a living. I crack behavioral data and data for a living. So if I give you, please accept. It's not from a place of bias. I mean, there are past videos where I praise VDM, but like I said, in the science of behavioral data, one thing you should understand is that consistency is something that you sustain over time, patterns. It is not something that can be judged with a single event. It is something that you have to judge over time. Everybody claims they're consistent. It takes discipline to sustain consistency. When VDM started, his consistency was fake because he left what he claimed he wanted to fight and started fighting shadows and cloud and just every place that requires that he has to be present for his name to be part of the algorithm. So that was what I noticed, and I started, be very mindful of my utterances around, his achievements or what people claim that he's actually doing. Pay attention to the fight of Blord and VDM, how he started. It's not from a place of who is going to, provoke each other to go legal, right? It's actually who is going to, give me attention. VDM started it, right? When Blord gave him attention, he gave him over attention. He versed. It didn't converse him. You understand? He started going, and to tell you the one he's actually fighting, to prove the point, he traveled all the way to Oka, to prove that very point, to tell you that he's not fighting for any form of Blord being in prison because he's a fraudster, but because he wants to, spend NGO funds on unnecessary things. Speaking about the NGO funds, let's be realistic with that young man. And I know so that guy not getting anything to do for a living at it. It's something that we don't want to face. At the end of the day, if anything happens, we would try to be emotional with too many things. You get the picture. So in the course of us trying to be emotional with humans, let's try to save people first of all before anything. If you don't drive, you don't understand how fuel economics, if you don't understand what it actually costs an average driver to fuel their car to travel from point A to point B, you won't understand how much it costs this young man to spend on the road, on flights, to do unnecessary things. Trust me. You won't understand those data until you start accumulating, because he has accumulated for a lot. He traveled all the way from God knows to Oka to prove a point that he won. That is not a fight of an activist. It's not a fight of a police. It's not a fight of somebody who meant well. Rather, a fight of what I actually said. A reactive part of him. A part of him that felt oppressed. Ego. He wants to retaliate on top people's money. He claimed that he's angry over his name and all that. Let's talk about D1. Even D1, I dare VDM to arrest D1. I give him now to the ending of this month to do something about it, because there's a video where D1 did something with his name. There are some things that D1 has done in the past with this young man's name that Blord, putting picture is nothing now. D1 has done, but then, and he dared him, come and do something if you're actually courageous, and that young man hasn't. That means his fight has been selective. It's not about dignifying somebody noisy. Like, D1 is a person. D1 has value. You understand? I mean, fighting people, being courageous in the face of certain things is no easy. If easy, run them. Cowards everywhere, right? Now, he did it. He even printed a picture of VDM and said something about the picture and said, come and arrest me. I'm ready for Kuje. He don't do anything. He's selective. Speaking of going to Oka, to tell you how Blord is actually scoring 3.0 in Kuje, to tell you, say, fighting people with the intention of making them feel less to, claim boss. Sometimes, they walk. You know why? When especially the person has a kind of force on his own, they fight poor man. You're not fighting a nobody. Right? Now, when you went to Oka, VDM of all people, Chuku, nobody sent you, not even, but I was like, really? Data can never lie. The brain has the capacity to store it and study it over time. Blord is like an average Tinubu in Oka. I'm not even in Oka. I'm not even in Anambra. I'm saying this. If whatever you did with this guy could ever make the street be silent and cold on you, brother, you better be very careful. Not really be about Blord, but for some other people, because you're going down to this very place to show that you are this, you are that, shows that
you can easily release data of you. I know you're a kid, right? I know saying I'm muscle, but then be very careful with certain things. You are dealing with humans. You are dealing with people that are not static. They are fluid. They have emotions. You can trigger them. They can decide that I want to end my life for this very purpose. Ego. Be very careful. I'm not even saying, I'm saying it from a place of you being careful. You act like a kid and you went there. That is to tell you that he still have dominance over you, even while he's not free. Whatever you are trying to prove with people's money, because as long as I'm concerned, you have no business. If we decide to fight tax now, there's nothing that is connected aside the NGO that you could possibly say that is tied to your name. That's how we know who is actually doing things. Not by saying you claim one or two things where they do for you. Anything that you are doing that is not tied to the economy, it's informal. And people like you should be formal enough to declare what they do for a living.